We have the hovercraft. It's a big piece of wood wrapped in plastic, and this is actually the front of the hovercraft, not that you can tell. But the way you can tell is that there's a hole right here in the top of the hovercraft. Now this is where the leaf blower goes. So here we have a leaf blower. You take the nozzle of the leaf blower and you put it over the hole like that. Now you make sure that the handle of the leaf blower is facing towards the camper. The camper is actually going to be sitting on the hovercraft. So you put it here like this, and then they hold on to the handle, and then you actually pull it and push it around using the extension cord. And what happens is the air from the leaf blower goes inside this hole. And we say air takes up space. Everyone say air takes up space. And then anything that takes up space and has mass is called matter. So that proves that air is matter. So the air goes inside this hole, fills up the bag, and then as the bag fills up, the air comes out here. Then kind of goes around the side, looks like a half donut shape or half a bagel. And then when the air comes out, it forces out, and then the kids can float around like an air hockey puck. So before you put any students on this side, or campers, you have to use a lid. You have to take a lid and set it down on here. There's a screw that holds everything together. You really don't want them to sit on that. So you put the lid here, make sure their feet are facing the hole, so 1 foot here, 1 foot here. They hold on to the leaf blower, and then turn on the leaf blower, and then they float around all around. If you have younger campers and they're kind of afraid of it, always give them a warning that it's going to be loud noise. I would say loud noise, and then I turn it on, that way they're prepared for it. Another thing you can do is take a piece of tape or roll of tape, and you set it down over, like right with a screw in the middle, then you put the lid on top. That gives it extra support, so it doesn't bend down and hit the screw. So it takes a little practice. You might want to run a couple trial runs just by putting the lid on and then something on top. Make sure they're seated on the lid and not a chair, because the chair increases their center of gravity. Gets them a little higher off of the hovercraft, which means they can fall. So the most important part is the leaf blower being over top of the hole. So they do have to hold it, and you have to pull the cord, so there's always this battle between making sure it stays centered. So here's the leaf blower. You want to unravel the cord. You want to put the leaf blower right over top of the hole. You want to make sure the camper, or your students, are sitting so they can hold on to this part right here. So here's your switch. You turn that on and off. They hold on to this part right here. The air goes inside the hovercraft, and then they start to float around. Couple safety tips too. This is an intake. So that means long hair, costumes, dresses, things like that can get put in there. So if you see somebody with long hair kind of like going like this and getting close to the thing, turn it off and say back up a little bit, make sure you don't get hair near the intake valve. Also, if anyone has a costume on or they're dressed up like something and they have dangly arm things like that, make sure they push their arms up away from the intake valve. Other things too is don't pull too hard, because you can pull it like this. A lot of times students will kind of roll off. That's perfectly fine. Another fun thing to do is every time they get off the hovercraft, you blow them in the face with the wind. That's always fun. So there it is, the hovercraft.